And we are off. Alright, so this is MelthiahDraconis versus Coppersmith from Group N. And we're doing a tiebreaker game because we had a three-way tie. So I played Coppersmith yesterday and won against him, so now these two have to do their tiebreaker game. And an immediate Rosenban before I can even finish doing my introductions, no hesitation. Draconis' box, there's Vincent, Leonhardt, Olivier. We saw that Olivier pop off versus Scissors, so yeah, makes sense that you don't want the Rosen. Hilda, not really a concern. If you're gonna go heavy AoE, Jugler much more so. So he actually does get the Rosen and the Jugler gone. That's really nice for an AoE box. He loses Bernhardt first, which... Yep, that's the one to ban if you're Coppersmith. Yeah, Coppersmith has a lot heavier single target, so he's not going to be worried about getting through a Betty. Amelia, not the best against like Bernhardt, Elwyn, Leon, Ares especially. Ares should handle the Amelia very easily. The Cavs can get walled, but Ares will not. Rosa will absolutely shred an Amelia. It's actually just going to be an Ares pick from Draconis, though. So he is A-okay with going tankless this game. I see no reason for him not to be. That's a lie. Tankless is really awkward this game. Even if your tanks are going to die, into Leon, Elwyn, Rosa, not having a tank is... it's rough. It's definitely rough. Because you're just going to get run down and murdered if you don't have a tank. Even if your tank... You know, Amelia is good, would be a good tank just because of the revive. So you can always guarantee that you're taking 2 hits. We'll see what he follows it up with. Goes ahead and bans out the remaining healers. So no healing for Coppersmith, but he gets a Bernhardt for it. Very nice. Lauren, maybe. Melthiah did get his healers banned, but he has 2 left. He has both the no, he has 3 left. That's a lot of healing. Okay. So actually there was no real pressure to even pick this Florin yet. Then I would have liked to see a tank pick maybe, or just extra damage. Yeah, you lose the Amelia now. If things start getting aggressive, Ares, Rosa, Elwyn, Leon, Betty's not going to do anything about them. Altamuller's not going to do anything about them. You're going to get outranged and run down before these AoEs can really hit. Yep, there's the Elwyn. It's already a lot of really good Empire single target on Coppersmith's side. That's going to be rough. Goes ahead and picks the Betty, so he does have a tank. Betty does have the virtue of bringing green soldiers, which can handle the Elwyn reasonably well. The Mariel could be a concern at that point. Oh. Just messing around in Chrome or something. Okay, there we go. Clotaire shows up. Ooh, Clotaire with the faction buff is a little bit terrifying, though he's not going to AoE you into a Betty. Because I don't know if he even dies for that is the thing. Betty's rough. Trying to kill things. But Clotaire could go single target and just have 7 movement single target. That's not bad. And would absolutely one-shot the Betty because any single target kills Betty. Ooh, we're gonna get a Vincent. There's no faction buffs available for Draconis, so he'll probably end up bringing mass attack on the Florin, if I had to guess. Which is alright. It does mean that Florin's not going to have a buff, so there's not going to be any act again rush spams, but then you already have 5 movement units, you don't need rush. I'd be surprised if this game went on long enough for act again to be relevant. No peeking. So, last picks are a Deedwit for Coppersmith, so he does have some healing, and the Bozal for Draconis. So there's definitely a lot of damage present on Draconis' side. Not a lot of healing for Coppersmith to address it, but I think Draconis is just going to get out-mobility'd here. It's going to be really hard for him to actually get in on Elwyn Clotaire. Green troops on the Betty are kind of his redeeming grace right here, because the Ares will outrange the Clotaire, and Elwyn's not necessarily threatening to kill your Betty in one hit. It will come very close. Because Betty doesn't have very good green troops. Actually, I'm not sure what factions Vincent is. I guess he might be dark. Yeah, I think he is dark, so he does get the Bozal faction buff. So actually, Florin's the only one without a buff here. So, yeah, actually, comp-wise, the team fits together a bit better than I initially thought. But against full Empire, ooh boy. This is going to be a rough game. And keep in mind, this is a tiebreaker, so it is only a best of 1. There is no game 2 to fall back on. Here we go. Bit of lag on the stream, it looks like, is unfortunate, but there's not really anything that I can do about that on my end, so sorry. Alrighty. The Deedwit is going to be very good here against this Betty. There is no magic guard. But your options to attack, you know, a Vincent who has a revive that you don't want to trigger, a Bozal that you can't kill, an Ares that you probably can't kill, not from far enough away to safely engage on the Ares, a Florin that you'll never reach. So the magic damage is nice, but I don't think it's going to be super relevant. Deedwit shouldn't be able to kill the Betty through green troops, because the unicorns just won't do too much damage. If Deedwit can kill the Betty through green troops, then Elwyn definitely can. Is probably a better way to put it. Ooh. Just got to glimpse it for a second, but there is actually Crush on the Elwyn as opposed to Frontal Assault. So he has burn for the buff. So obviously not bringing Elwyn buff is the correct choice. Crush is an interesting pick though. That's not one you see very often as the third skill slot. I don't know if it's actually going to be useful or not. I feel like it not going to be the best. A lot of lag on the stream. I believe this Clotaire is in range to just run across the map and bonk the Betty, at which point Elwyn runs down the entire team by himself. Actually, another reason for bringing Frontal Assault here is you can passive block the Vincent, and then he doesn't have a revive anymore, because the revive is a 3C passive. Unless I don't know how Vincent works, which is possible. I suppose, depending on the build on this Clotaire, he might not be able to single target the Betty to death, since single target is a physical attack. If he doesn't have the attack built in, if he doesn't have enough base attack, even with the conversion, his damage can be kind of low on that move. I think that's how Clotaire works. There's a bunch of characters in here using things that I don't really know how they work too well. I've seen Vincent all of one time, and Clotaire never single targets me. But I believe I'm correct. Ooh, the Florin actually is not 6-star for Draconis, so there is no Act Again available until he uses 3C. Which is a pretty big loss as player 2. Because it means that your Act Again, you can't use it as aggressively, right? Unless you just 3C the Void. You have to kind of wait until engagements start to happen before you can use your 3C effectively to get the stacks to use Act Again. Okay, Bernhard buff comes out. Yeah, it's definitely an option to just throw 3C into the Void. It's just a very awkward feeling option. Oh, Vincent checking to see if he is in range. He is not. So there should be a very strong set of AoEs available for Draconis here at the start of the next turn. If the Bozil boots, he's in range. The Ares is in range. The Kruger can get himself into range. And against a solitary Deedwit, that's going to be very, very hard to deal with. The one concern is just dying to Elwyn before that happens. Right, Clotaire coming in, bonking you, and then Elwyn sealing the deal. Because all these AoEs aren't going to matter if they're not killing Elwyn. Really, this Elwyn, if he ever gets a chance to go in, this Elwyn can 1v5 this game pretty handily. Well, I guess 1v4, because he can't break the Betty super easy. Maybe. So there could be an act again here to get one of these AoEs off immediately before this Clotaire or Elwyn has a chance to go in. Considering it, right, you can get the Bozal is not boots, so the Bozal can't reach. It is going to be just 3C into the void, act again. Is it the Vincent or the Ares? It's going to be the Vincent. Okay, so Vincent's going to come in. He's going to soften this entire team up. And then Ares, 3C, and Wind Whisper is going to be hitting onto weakened targets. So Scarlet Reaper damage is going to be pretty nice. Vincent also can just AoE again before even doing anything, just because that revive is going to keep him pretty much free from punishment here. And with that positioning, Clotaire is also no longer in range to come in. See miracles, healing back up. He's gonna go after the Ares. Ares lives it though. Yep. Ares does in fact live it. Yeah. Oh boy. This is going to be a lot of AoE damage. First pick was Ares. It was Ares into Florin into Betty. Vincent was actually fourth pick. Ooh, that's a really good Tenuous Breeze. Bozal wasn't able to reach, but now he is very much in range and ready to click Black Hole all over. Alright, down goes Vincent's first life, but then he just explodes. And then he can AoE you again, and then he'll explode again, and then Ares will kill you. Ooh, actually, no, Vincent just dies to all the fixed damage coming out of burn, so he's going to go ahead and explode now. But that's a 40% Clotaire. That's very dead. Burn should be fine, I think. From 70% with that much defense. I believe the burn will survive this. Though he might not live the fall. Oh, that's not a good engage. Draconis jumps the gun a little bit, only gets a 4-tile run up. That's a little bit of damage lost. Not enough to actually make a difference, though. It would be a couple more % on the burn. Something that would definitely be helpful, but isn't really game-changing. We'll see how much the Bozal does, to see if it's actually relevant. Elwyn picks the Ares. Puts him in Bozal range, but Bozal's can't debuff him anyways. So it is now 3v4, but Bozel has a chance to come in and make this a 3v3. Betty 3C comes out. We watch a little PowerPoint of the animation. It does about 30% of the deedlit. Not a whole lot. Bozel... I don't believe there's Dark Reaper or any single target skill for the Bozel. Basic attack with Sorks might kill. Demon Bozel does do more damage, that's for sure. He's just going to take the safe route, though, and sleep this deedlit. It's a reasonable enough play to make here. Just doesn't want to risk not killing there. He's going to get Sword Danced by Bernhardt. Cusmith not really sure what he wants to do here. There's the sword dance. Ow. Oh, Bernhardt just gets deleted by Betty, though, for doing it. But at this point, Betty is very much dead to the Elwind. Then do you beat the Elwind ever? Especially since Sleep is now on cooldown from hitting that deedlit. Elwind's still debuff immune as well, so this black hole's not gonna do anything. And it does a little bit of damage, but Elwind just heals that back up, no issues. No clocks. And that's just a dead Betty into a dead Bozel. Down she goes. Gets Bozel back to 100, but it's just not really relevant at all. Elwind's gonna kill you. If he had the Bozel sleep, he could stall a little while longer by sleeping the Elwind here, but then you still don't kill this Elwind. Hilda's still around. There's no AoEs left. Deedlit's hanging out here as well, for what it's worth. Actually, Crush was relevant this game as well, because the Betty was low HP when he went in. So what do you know? It actually worked out. Frontal Assault probably would have still been better though. Yep, does about 50% to the Elwyn. Gets a heal block on him. That's not bad, but Elwyn could just run back to guard range and that's it. Right, he just runs back to Hilda and resets and then kills you. It actually goes for the Bozal and only kills Sorks because he was so low on HP. That might not have been the play. Deedwit's dead here for certain to this Florin. That's more than enough in to kill this. Turned on animations. Not that we could see them, but we could hear them. Actually, Deedwit did not die. Unicorns just ate it all. That's surprising. Definitely surprising. And now Deedwit runs back to guard. And with turn priority, you can take the Elwyn's first life. You have a heal block on him, so he's not coming back from that. You know, at that point, he has to run away. It's not terrible. Bozal can stay out of range as he does it as well. And then maybe you pray for a miracle to happen with sleep later. Ooh, Florin's gonna try and kill the Elwyn. Is Florin gonna miss another kill? No. So Elwyn goes down. Pops his revive. He's got to run away at this point, but he can just run back to guard. There's no skills to poke him out behind guard. And then on the next turn, he gets to run in and kill you. Unless sleep comes back up, which I'm not certain the cooldown on. If sleep is back up, then you can kill the Elwyn, and then... No, Elwyn's not in guard. So there is an opportunity... Now, Hilda just moves to guard if you threaten to kill it. The sleep is back up next turn, so he could have popped it with sleep. Chose not to, though. There's a Sea of Miracles, so yeah, you're not killing the Elwyn with sleep. It shouldn't be enough damage. Sleep is a pretty low multiplier. Hilda's just gonna walk forward and set up guard. Breaking this Hilda's gonna be kind of awkward. No one's in Elwyn range though. But again, Elwyn just waits for Reign of Glory to come back and then you lose. Even with that little attack. Florin 3C is almost back up, which is neat. Elwyn actually already has Reign of Glory. Yeah, and that should just be GG. And he goes for the Florin. Sure. Lonely, lonely Bozel has absolutely no opportunity to win this game. So yeah, Draconis let his Betty get picked, which was his only way to save him from the Elwyn, and then it was just all over from there. Betty was positioned a little bit too aggressively, trying to hit that Deedlit, when she needed to be ensuring that she wasn't getting hit by Elwyn. Or she wasn't getting hit by Bernhardt into Elwyn, rather, is what killed her. Wind Wall. Definitely not the reason the Elwyn lives, but always fun to see. I can actually push the Bozo into the fog and stun him there. Just because. Well, that is GG, so... Oh, and Elwyn yeets himself into the fog to take the kill. Again, just because. So that's the GG, so that's the end of the tiebreaker. So Coppersmith will be moving on to the tournament bracket along with me from Group N. So, congrats to him. Well played to both. And I will see you guys later. Maybe next time chat will be a little more active for you.